I need to put it over there and I have to use it. So for those use cases, you can opt for the on-demand instances. So far, so good, right? Please acknowledge that if
Yes,
anyone can't able to understand on-demand instances.
we can use for UAT also in shorter cases. UAT pre-prod.
Yes, yes, that kind of stuff, right? I'm just saying. But for short workload premises, you can go ahead and use the on-demand instances. Got it?
Yes, yes, Rahul, continue.
Okay. Okay, sure. Now, second thing, what we're going to focus is nothing but the reserved instances, which is nothing but which can be reserved. Like, let me give you an instance. I'm going to go for the cinema hall. Right? Because before going to the cinema hall, I have to reserve the seats, right? And when I reserve the seat, that seat is being designated for me for that particular period of time, which is for 2.5 hours or 3 hours, stuff like that. So I'm going to reserve this instances, like I'm going to reserve the seat for 3 hours, and that 3 hours is that 3 hours that seat is for me. Okay, that point number one. Now what I can do is nothing but I can convert that easy like convert the reserved instances into a flexible thing. I can also sell the ticket to someone else so that I can make sure that I can able to use the ticket. The other user can use the ticket for seeing the movie. So the option what AWS is providing is nothing but reserved instances are nothing but for the long workloads we are going to work for it. Let's say you're going to work for almost 3 years or going to work for 5 years. Reserved instances will not go for 5 years, but I'm saying you're going to work for 1 to 3 years. Like the instances is going to work for 1 to 3 years. So that instances should be reserved in advance so that it will not be used by some others. And it will also provide you a lot of discounting options. Why haven't I mentioned the discounting options over here is nothing but at each and every time the discounting options will differ. I'll give you the link. Go ahead and see the discounting options which is available. Like there are a lot of available options for you guys, okay, for your discounting stuff, all the stuff, but I'm not going to show you. It's also not needed. The numbers are not needed. Okay, you can also reserve the instances. And there is also one more available option for you, which is a convertible reserved instances. Let's say you have been working with the instances for 1 year. That is your reserved instances. But unfortunately, you are saying you are reserved the instances for 3 years. Let me provide you this. Let me provide you with a diagram. Okay, let me provide you with a diagram. Let's see. So now you are the user. Let's say the user is CDP. Okay, let's say the user is CDP, and CDP is reserving the instances. Let's say an EC2 instance at AP South 1A availability zone, demo CDP, EC2 instance for 3 years. Okay, for 3 years. Okay, so this color is not visible for 3 years. Okay, this is the use case what we are working on. So user is CDP, and they are reserving the instances demo CDP, which is available inside the AP South 1A for 3 years. Now, what happened is nothing but, unfortunately, they are using this EC2 instances for 1 year, but after 1 year, they said that I don't need these instances. But unfortunately, what happened is nothing but they have they have reserved this EC2 instances for 3 years. Now, is there any options to convert this, like I say, the reserved instance to a flexible instances? Yes, it does. What they can do something, but after 1 year, they can what may I say they can convert this reserved instance to a flexible instance. Okay, what in which case is that at some point of time, let's say after one point, like at 1 year, at the 12th month, they are releasing this what may I say reserved instance to a flexible instance. But at 15th month, they want this EC2 instance, what I already want. Yes, you can also use this flexible instances. So this is the option which is available for you, right? If a long workload has been running inside your server, then you have to use then you want to have an instances, right? For that thing, then go ahead and reserve the instances for which amount of time, and you can also have the capability to convert that reserved instances to a flexible instances based on the use cases what you're going to work it for. Got it? That's the stuff where talks about the reserved instances as well as the convertible reserved instances. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Now, next third thing is all about the savings plan, which is been working for 1 to 3 years. So, what savings plans is nothing but the same as the reserve instances. But what savings plans does is that it provides you the commitment of things. Okay, as I mentioned over here, the commitment to an amount of usage. Okay, but because when you're reserving these instances, let's say you're working with the reserved instances for this thing. Okay, you're working with the reserved instances for this thing, so you can use like the excess amount of usage what you can. Why? Because you have reserved this instance. But savings plans is not like that. They will be having some commitment. So they will be having a commitment towards the amount of usage. Okay. So towards the amount of usage. Okay. It's same as the what may say reserved instances, but it has the commitment of usage, and you can also run the long workloads inside your savings plan concepts. Easy to instances purchasing options. Fine. And second, next thing is all about spot instances, like which is called by on spot instances. You can do, you know about the meaning about the on spot instance, which I needed right now. So, which is being used for short workloads, yes, which is very cheap, and you can lose the instances, less reliable. You can also have an option to lose the instances. So, does it need right now? Yes, I need it right now. So, you can also work. You can also what can I say? Opt for the spot instances. Then dedicated host. Dedicated host is nothing but the host, like the entire physical server, the instance placement, all the stuff which has been needed for you, it has been designated for the host. You can book an entire physical server. You can book an entire instance placement. You can also have an entire control over the instance placement. Then that type of thing will be done using the dedicated host. And what is dedicated instance? Nothing but the instances which is present inside the dedicated host will not be shared to your hardware. No other customers will share your hardware. It isn't designated only for you, right? That's all about the dedicated host and dedicated instances. And all about the capacity reservation, you can reserve the capacity. I'm very important thing, guys. What is the difference between this one and this one? You could ask. Why? Because second one is all about reserving your instances. Final one is all about reserving only the capacity, not the instances. You can reserve the capacity in specific UAC for any duration. Please note down the differences. This is for instances and this is for only capacity, not the instances. You may be able to say the volumes which has been attached to it. You can reserve the capacity for the specific AC for any duration of time. Okay. Clear the basic stuff behind what are the EC2 instance purchasing option available. Cleared it, or else I need to go ahead with one more time. Is it okay? I'm also okay to it. I can also go ahead one more time.
No, I'm clear.
Sure. Okay. I think so. Everyone is clear about it. Okay. Now the question comes to your mind. A very important thing. Which purchasing option is right for you? Which you can use. Okay. But I'm gonna leave to the like people who are over here in this meet. Okay. Go ahead. Start working with this thing. I'm also have this thing. Like here it is available. We are gonna go ahead. But right now I want people to answer for this thing. Go ahead. Think about it. Okay. Which purchasing option will be right for your use case, and which use case, like let's say provide me a use case with your in your company itself as you're already working. Okay, so provide me a use case for in that use case, what type of EC2 instance purchasing option will be available. This question is open for all. So you do have a lot of people over here, almost 8 of them, and within 8 I am two, and within 8 I am two. So remaining 6 of them are available. So it is open for all. So you can just go ahead and answer for the question for which use case you are solving right now. It might be a lot of use cases. It might come to your mind right now. Please make sure to answer for that thing and try to allocate what type of EC2 instance purchasing option for that. Let's see whether it is a correct option for you or not. Okay, go ahead. If even if it is wrong, no issues. Okay,
Yes.
I can what can I say? I can guide you, right?
The spot instance.
Yes, for instance, give me a use case. I'm asking you to give me a use case in such a way that for that use case, you need to use a spot instances kind of stuff. I do have a use case. I've taken the use case from the Stephen Marik's course, like which is for the each and every use case belongs to the hotel booking scenario, right? For the hotel booking scenario, I've taken the entire thing. That's what. Any idea? Can you able to do it, or else I do like I will explain my same use case what I have in my thing.
Raghul,
Hmm.
we can make a web server, okay, in a general purpose one.
Okay, fine.
This will be for the front end.
Hmm.
Rest of the app and DB will be there. Okay. Now app can also be placed in general purpose as well as in memory or compute zone also, depending on the application, the uh, resource hungry. Okay. How
Hmm.
the application is actually made up, or how it will optimize. And
Hmm.
the database is there. Okay, so we can like put it in the this memory.
Okay, fine. You just said about the EC2 instance type, like a simple application with front end and back end can be pushed inside the
Yeah.
general purpose. It can also be pushed
Yes.
inside the memory optimized if it is a DB is being attached. That's okay. Try to go for the EC2 instance purchasing options. If you want to purchase an EC2 instance of different types, okay, like what are the types which has been listed below? For the same application, what you have said right now, right? Okay, for the same application like the full stack and like the front end and back end with the DB attached. What type of EC2 instance purchasing option would you choose?
uh, database M5 or M6A can be used, or
No,
else
no, no.
like
I'm not going for the EC2 instance type like the M5.x large or M2.x large. I'm not going for that thing. But I'm asking you
okay,
what type of EC2 instance purchasing option which has been displayed on the screen right now. Whether you go for the reserved one, whether you go for the savings
we'll
plan, whether
go
you go for
for
the spot.
reserve one actually,
How?
because it will be like a continuous accessible, right, for a long time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we'll
Why
go
don't you
with
go
that
for the
option.
savings plan then? Why you're much more focusing on reserved thing? Savings plan is also available for 1 to 3 years.
Yeah, that is fine, but in the reserve one will we it's dedicated to me. Okay, it is as per my need if I want to use it now or later. But it is reserved for me. Dedicated is nothing that sort of. It is committed to the like the resources, not the
No,
instance.
I'm asking for the savings plan. Why? Because you said that reserved, right? You can reserve it for your almost for 1 to 3 years since it is going to be working with DB kind of stuff. But I'm also saying that savings plan is also having an option to store it for 3 years. Why can't you opt for that? Why you're opting for reserved?
Uh, can't really distinguish, Raghul.
Mhm. That's okay. That's fine. Is there any other? If someone wants to answer for this question, like he said that it's going to have a simple web application which has a lot of DB inside it. So it's going to work with general purpose. And if it is also needed, you can also go for the memory optimized, company optimized stuff too. I've asked for the instance purchasing option. He said that it's going to go for the reserve thing, right? Because it's going to work for this application is going to work for a long period of time. But I've asked that since savings plans also have an option to store the DB for like store your application for 3 years, why don't you opt for that? Is there any answers for this thing? And almost thanks, Harshad. You have almost tried it, but like this is what we need, right? For the use case, what you're solving, that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
And is there any answers, guys? Even if it is not correct, too, please try to answer from your side. I need to know what you have understood, right? Then only I can go for the next one, or I need to focus on the other perspectives as well. I think so. No one wishes to answer, or it doesn't like if there is no
Well,
any
actually, we are a little bit confused in this, so it's better like
inside.
you just clear this out.
Okay, fine, 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 fine. Okay, fine. Okay, let's come to the same thing what Arshad said. Right? So he said I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. You have a front end. as a backend, as a DB attached to it. So he said that I'm going to use a general purpose, and I'm going to, even if it can be gone for use for memory optimized or compute optimized, since I'm going to work with long workloads like DB stubs, etc. So he said that I'm going to use a reserved EC2 instances, which can be used for 1 to 3 years so that I can able to reserve it. But my question is, why can't you use for savings plan? Okay, why? Because you can also have a commitment of amount of usage, right? You can commit like this amount of usage is going to be committed for this thing. So the answer is that it, hello,
Yeah, your voice was not there.
right now,
Yeah, it is there now.
okay, fine. So either you can use reserved instances or savings plan point of view. Why I'm saying this thing? Let me provide you a diagram to show you this thing. Okay. So as Harshad said, this is the front end, and this is the back end as a DB attached to it. Okay. He said that I'm going to focus on a server which has been reserved for 3 years. Yes, this is also option number one. You can do it. And the same thing which was said, I'm going to have a front end, I'm going to have a backend, a DB attached. I'm going to put it inside the savings plan for 3 years. But unfortunately, if Harshad wants to quit this plan, can Ashad can able to do the quit? Can Ashad can what may I say quits the plan of reserving the instances for 3 years and make it as a flexible one? Is it available
Yes,
for
I
Ashad?
can. Yeah.
Yes. Why? Because there is an option to convert it. Do you have an option kind of stuffs in the savings plan? Can you what may I say uh, convert this from savings plan to a normal flexible instances?
Okay. No,
Do you?
no. In
No.
saving plans, there is no option as
There
such.
is no option. Why? Because in savings plan, it is very important to know that you are committed to the amount of usage. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say
Okay.
you want to use only 50 gigabytes of DB at each and every point of time you are accessing it. It's committed to amount of usage. Then why you have to what to focus to convert that into a flexible amount of time? It has been committed, right? Then why have to convert it? So
Yes.
there are two use cases what you have already said. If you want to convert your reserved instances to a convertible one, if you don't have the focus onto it, then go ahead and use the option number one. Or else, I'm okay for it. I can able to manage this particular server for almost 3 years, but I'm going to make sure that I do have a commitment to use only 50 gigabytes of DB at each and every point of accessing my server. Then I can go for also savings plan. Option number two. Now people understood about the about the concept clearly.
Yes. Something.
Okay. Okay. I think so. Only Ashad. Is there any other else? Do you have any doubts in it so that we can move to my
Mm,
particular use case?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Then let's go for the next thing. What I was talking about. Which purchasing option is right for me? Okay. Where I took an example with the hotel, like to stay in a hotel. Right. First thing is on demand. Coming and staying in the resort whenever we like, we pay for the full price. Okay, I've written in my own words for this thing. Let's say you're staying in a resort, right? On demand is something good which is needed at a particular point of time. Okay, whenever we like, let's say at time 10, I need to stay in a resort. I need to, and then I pay the full price. And I need a resort in pay at time 12, then I can go for it and then stay in the resort. That type of option is called as on demand, which is we needed for me. Like at, at any particular point of time, the particular resort is available for me. I can go whenever I like, but at any particular point of time, I go, I stay, and I pay the full price. This is all about the on-demand instances. Let's say you're reserved. That is, you are reserving a resort for almost 3 years. so that you'll get some good discount. Why? Because that option has been available for you since you are reserving it 3 years. So the resort owner will give you some sort of discounts to you. Since the total price is gonna be this much amount, but I'm going to give you 20%. You're reserving the hotel for almost 3 years. Now it's all about reserved instances. You're gonna be reserving for almost 3 years, so you'll get a lot of discounts over it. What is all about savings plan? Savings plan stuff is that for a certain amount per hour for a certain period and staying any room, like the king, suit, sea view, extra stuff. That's what you're committed. Like you're committed for the particular hour for a particular period, then you can stay for any room, right? That's what the committed the amount of usage what I'm going to use. That's what I explained you. Now, the spot instances. Spot instance is nothing but the hotel will allow people to bid for empty rooms, and the highest bidder keeps it. You can kick out at any point of time. It still looks like a bidding option. Okay, let's say I'm gonna bid a object. Okay, this object is almost 50K. I'm starting it. User one, user two, user three is our bidding for this. Are participating in the bidding. He opts for 70K. He opts for 80K, and he opts for 110K. Among all those three users, what can I say? User three has the highest bidding. So the object will be given to user three. And the very important thing is nothing but it can be kicked out of any point of time if any other options which is available. Even after buying the object, it can also be like if any, like say, user 4 wants to take the object for 200K, then this user will be kicked out of and this object will be given to them. Clear, got it? What about what about spot instances? All about that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what dedicated host is all about? Dedicated host is all about the book an entire building of the resort. This is only for you. You don't want to allow anyone to your resort also. That instance is being very so focused for you. And what is the capacity reservation something? But you book a room for a period with a full price. Very important thing. Let me show you because I haven't just okay. What capacity reservation nothing but let's say I'm the one inside the resort EBC. I'm gonna what can I say? Reserve a room, but reserve a room. I'm gonna pay reserve a room for 3 years. I pay the full price, but I don't stay for the entire time. This is capacity reservations. Okay. What about reserved instances is that same me. What I'm going to do is something, but I'm going to reserve the room for 3 years inside the ABC, which provides some discounts, beautiful discounts, and I'm going to use it completely. Understood, guys? The difference between the capacity reservation and reserved instances.
Yeah, Raghul.
Sure. So this is all about the EC2 instance purchasing options, which is available. So right now, let me check my time. It's 11:48. Okay, we do have only 10 more minutes, so we can't able to complete the difference between the EC2 spot instance. There are 4 more things to be get completed this time. There is huge, guys. Okay. Okay. Fine. Let's get into the part. So we'll end the class right now. Why? Because this part we need much more time to cover it. Why? Because what could I say? So it needs almost another half an hour to 45 minutes to complete the entire spot instances spot fleet. Now, this is like today we have talked a lot about it. We have also see some hands-ons too. Okay. So the hands-on stuff, we started with knowing some AWS CLI commands, installing the CLI, working with CLI and how to configure the CLI stuff like that. Secondly, we also focused on the what makes it SSH access, and we talked a lot about the security groups point of view. And we also had one SSH access, what can I say, working stuff too. Then we talked about EC2 instance purchasing option, which is a very, very important thing. Why? Because even if you want to appear for your EC, like the AWS Solution Architect Associate examination, moreover, the questions will be kind of use cases only. For that use case, how the instances will be matched out of, you are supposed to answer for it. Okay, that's going to be the use case. And right now, we are also seeing what are the examples to be needed, all those stuff, kind of, right? So now the thing is all about to you. If you have any questions or any things to be asked to for today's class, I would like to answer to this, right? Or any doubts or any clarification you needed.
Yes, Raghul, I just
Mhm.
wanted to ask you, like, see, not this is not related to today's class actually. This is overall. In this our this lecture or in this course, are we going to learn about VPC, direct connect, landing zone, ALB, NLP, ingress, and control tower or not?
Sure, we have been learning it. Haven't you
Okay.
checked the portions? Haven't you checked the syllabus which is being given by CDP?
No, actually, there's I think so. There's
Wait, I'll check.
miss.
I'll check. I'll check. I'll
Yep.
check. I'll show you. I'll show you. No issues.
Why I'm saying this, Raghul? Because the EC2 and that is the after part, the first part, like the starting part, like how it is connected, the VPC, direct connect, the landing
No, no,
zone.
no. Actually, you are saying in the wrong way. You need to know
Okay,
about the basic virtual service first. Okay, these are all basic stuff first. Then only you
okay.
need to know how to connect the EC2 instance inside the virtual. Why? Because haven't you said that you already connected a virtual you already connected the EC2 instance inside a VPC only? Haven't you thought that? Haven't you
Yes,
seen that thing?
yep, yep.
Because once
Fine.
if I just go ahead much more like at the first time itself, explaining all the stuff, right? You won't understand. That's why I said let's go with a lot of chunks. Let us go with small chunk right now. Then we'll go for the next
Mm,
chunk, etc., stuff. Then only you can able to understand as a whole,
okay,
right?
fine.
I'll show
Yep,
you the
yep.
syllabus. No issues, no issues. I'll show you the syllabus. Go through this thing. So this is the syllabus what we're going to focus on. And as I said, like we completed this entire thing like in the last class, in the first class, and today we almost completed up to this EC2 instance connect and EC2 instances
Yes,
purchasing option, right? So
perfect. Yep.
in the next class, I'll be having one more working where I'll be connecting the EC2 instance connect and I'll be allocating some roles for the EC2 instance to access the
Mm-hmm.
IAM. Okay, so we'll be discussing through some diagrammatic thing. And third chapter is all about, as you asked, like we are going to talk with EBS, EFS, ELB, and NLB hands-on, ALB hands-on, ELB, and gateway load balancer, ELB sticky, cross zones over there. And we also work with some ASC hands-on also, okay, and ASC policies and scaling policies then. Then we are going to go for the EC2 Solution Architect Associate level, where we're going to work with private, public, and elastic IP, what you needed with hands-on. We're going to work with placement groups, elastic network interface. And we'll be going with simple storage. And here you go. What you're all asked, what you have already asked. We'll be talking about VPCs. No doubts in that. We'll be talking about VPCs.
Okay, this is pretty much clear to us now.
Now, say the chapter number 14, what you have asked.
Yep, machine learning section.
No, I'm not. That's chapter number 15. I'm asking for the chapter number 14, which is
Yeah,
networking
I
in
got that.
VPC.
Yeah, I got that. Thanks a lot, Rahul, for the clarity.
So, why? Because we need to go one by one, right? These are all the hierarchical way what I've given to you. I think so. You haven't seen this thing. So I think the CDP has already shared, but I don't know why you haven't seen. But it is already
Mm,
available in the group. I'll
I
ask the
think so I
CDP
missed that.
if you have think you have missed it. No.
I must have missed that.
Okay, got it, got it. So it is to be gone hierarchically, right?
Okay.
So
No
this
worries.
part is being completed, guys. The chapter one is done. So I think so. I've shown you the cloud shell, right? Yesterday in the first class.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fine. Okay then. I am to show you the IAM roles. Why? Because in the next class tomorrow, when we are connecting with EC2 instance role, I'll show you the IAM roles, how to connect how to work with AWS IAM commands from the EC2 instances. Right? We'll be talking. We'll be having some exploration towards that. And tomorrow we'll also complete the spot instances, plot date, EC2 instance launch type 2. Then tomorrow we'll also be working with EBS snapshots, AMI, EC2 instance store, EBS volume times, EBS multi-attach, EBS encryptions too. Up to this tomorrow we have to complete. And as I said, I'm going to work with two important bash scripts. First thing, how to create an EC2 instances using a bash script itself. Second thing, how to create an EBS volume to attach the EBS volume to an EC2 instance using the same bash script. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Got it? Okay, fine.
Yes.
So it's me like tomorrow. It's very like today. Also, I thought that it might be taking much time, but unfortunately, I've completed the thing. So let's see tomorrow. Why? Because tomorrow we have a lot of things to cover, and let me try to complete it within 12, or it might also take more than 12 too. Why? Because we are working with some baskets too. Or else, what I'll do something, but I'll share the baskets to you. You can work it around in your system and make sure that it works well for you or not. Right? If the time is
Okay.
not available for us, right? I'll share you the baskets too. Okay,
Sure,
fine.
Raghul.
Is there any questions to be
And
asked?
yeah, wanted the PPT for today's 50
I'll
generally.
share. I'll share you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank
I'll
you.
share. Okay, guys.
Thanks. A-
So, is there any doubts rather than this?
No,
No,
Rahul.
doubts will come, Raghul, once we start to actually use na that time. But right now it is pretty clear to us, to me at least.
Mhm.